I want to introduce a couple of books. I looked for my other book. I couldn't find it. I don't know how these show up on the screen. This one here, The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, is a very good book to read. You know, when you got the time, you can order it offline or whatever, and get it and breathe through it sometime. And then this book right here, Conscientism, is by President Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana and co-president of Guinea, which is a very good book to read to clear up a lot of confusion in dealing with philosophy. A lot of confusion it will clear up dealing with philosophy. So I just say get those two books. And one more book I was looking for in my books here. For some reason I couldn't find it. And this book here is called How Europe Undeveloped Africa, which I think is a very good book that Africa need to pick up and breeze through. Even Capitalism and Slavery is a very good book you need to breeze through. The World in Africa by W.B. Du Bois is a good book to breeze through. We got so many authors that wrote so many good books dealing with the politics of Africa, dealing with all the contributions Africa have made to world civilization. So we need to know that our political education is to express our culture. And the only way you can express your culture if you politically educated. The only way you can discuss the direction in which we are going is through political education. The only way you can defend this struggle is through political education. So we must be politically educated in order to achieve our objective of Pan-Africanism. Political education teaches you everything under the sun, because you become involved and study some of everything under the sun. The correct, the incorrect, the good interpretation, the bad interpretation, the incorrect interpretation. That's why our culture is more important. And we must become more culture aware of our history. We must use our history as a weapon to defeat the colonialists, as a weapon to get rid of cultural imperialism. Somebody put on Facebook today, they was talking about the American Indians. They were talking about the Trail of Tears. About 4,000 died. I think a little bit more than 4,000 died from Florida to Oklahoma. I marched with the American Indian Movement and the International Treaty Organization when they marched from Tampa, Florida, all the way to D.C. I marched with them 3 different times to retrace the Trail of Tears. I marched with them from Tallahassee, Florida, to Thomasville, Georgia on my first leg. I got out of the hospital one day. I was out there the next day marching with them. And I was having a problem with my leg. I had went in the hospital with my leg. It was swollen because of heart surgery. They had took the vein out of it. But I went and walked with them, and it stormed that day. I mean, it rained so hard. And it made my leg feel so good just walking on the side of the road with the soft earth. I walked with them again up in Thomaston, Georgia, up into Atlanta. I marched with them again. Then I marched with them again on the other side of Atlanta. We marched our way up to Calhoun, Georgia, where they gave me the great honor of sitting in the circle of the chiefs and the leaders to smoke a peace pipe among them. And I thank them very much for the African masses. I thank them very much for inviting me from the All African People Revolutionary Party. When we was up in Calhoun, Georgia, the monks came down out of the hills, out of the mountains, and invited us to come up, fed us, gave us tea, had good conversation. Real good people. Real good people. They got their temples up in there, and they're peace-loving people. They're humble people. They don't be bothering nobody. They always for the good of people. And I know many of us don't even know that they are there in Calhoun, Georgia, but they are there. So I've been through that. I've been there with the American Indian Movement. Our party have always stood with the American Indian Movement. And you think they're going to teach it in school? No, they are not. That's our job. That's our job to have programs, to bring in indigenous peoples to our program, no matter where we are, no matter what city, state you're in. We need to be inviting representatives from the American Indian Movement and the International Treaty Organization and listen to their story. Listen to what's going on with them today. Listen to what they are trying to do. Listen to where their problem situation lie. Listen to how we can help them in their struggle and they can help us in our struggle. And we can come together like we always been to represent the people who fight for national liberation. So yeah, I think it should be taught in school, but we know they're not going to teach that in school. Much of you going to see about that is on television with the Indians and cowboys. How can they teach you about the history of the indigenous peoples and all they are wrong for doing? They done caused upon these peoples and murdering them in every aspect you can think of in the world what they did. Even with joint warfare, just like they did it with now with this covert virus. Joint warfare. And we ain't got sense enough to know it. Ain't got no political education to understand that what's going on. Then want to study send our kids back in these schools and universities to die. To die. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? It's just a matter of time. But capitalism is all about that money. It ain't about your life. They don't care how many people die. Yeah, they don't care how they going to make money. Then they were saying today, how much would a vaccine cost when if they develop one? We won't be able to afford it as Africans. That's for real. That's why we need our own scientists. That's why we need our own hospitals. That's why we need to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. You know, I ain't the only person think that integration was what thing happened to African peoples in this country. Sure it was. We lost so much doing integration because of why? The lack of political education. But what we gained from it? I think I talked about it before, but what we gained from it? We lost so much through integration. Even when I came here to Fort Valley, Georgia, where I live at today, they had a lot of different African businesses going on. As soon as, and I was 72, so you know, the so-called integration thing just had went through in 70. And we came and lost all our grocery stores, supermarkets, filling stations, dry cleaners, and every other kind of business you can name, taxi business, all kind of different business we lost. Now, here we don't even have one community store that we own as a people. And we call that, going forward, we call that integration? No. When you're political education, you know exactly what it was. Infiltration. You know, we didn't make no decision in the integration. We were just given the orders of how everything gonna work by the imperialist power, the European capitalist society, and these United States. You know, y'all know we lost everything doing integration, but we had like everything all right. Everything is all right. Don't talk about it. Leave it alone. We gonna do it this way. Well, we've been trying to do it that way a long time, you know. I ain't gonna fight my people in no aspect, you know. No, I ain't voted but one time since 1968 when C.B. King was running for governor of Georgia. You know, but I voted because I don't want the people here where I'm at to think I'm against their direction and struggle. But I also want them to understand I don't want to believe that they're against Pan-Africanism and struggling for the masses of African people. So if their method don't work, then our method will work. But we must become organized. You know, political education decides all of that. This political education decides our children, welfare, education. Must be cultural education amongst our youth. If not, they're going to be lost. They're going to be lost. And we ain't going to try to get them no political direction in which way they should be going. What y'all want to teach them? If y'all don't want to teach them about Africa, y'all don't want to teach them Pan-Africanism. Y'all don't want to teach them the necessity of being in an organization. Y'all don't want to teach them the necessity of having an ideology to guide that organization. No, you know, we need organization, but we must have an ideology with it. Because the only thing the ideology is going to keep you in line of what you're fighting for and what you're fighting against. You must know what you're fighting against. Even a Christian must know they fighting against the devil. If a Christian don't know they fighting against the devil, then they're not a Christian. And if a Christian is not trying to fight against the devil, once they realize that is a devil, then I don't know what to say to that, other than they're not politically educated. They are not culturally conscious. They're still following the European way of life. They're still believing what the Europeans have preached. And don't think to try to study your own culture, your own independency before you went into slavery, before we went into slavery. Because I don't never try to separate me from my people. And then I'm like, my ancestors. I came from my ancestors. Everybody got an ancestor. Who don't have an ancestor? But don't stop at that certain point like you came out of a cotton field or a cone patch or somewhere. You know, you don't know nothing about yourself but slavery. If the only thing you know about yourself is slave, the only thing you can do is hope to be a good slave. Good slave for the masses or a good slave for the European. Either Malcolm said you can be a field or you can be a house. And we're ready for you to be a field African. Because field African always fight against the oppressor. Anytime the field slave can take the oppressor out, you take him out. So we think that Trump is wicked. I don't know no millionaire ain't wicked. Y'all know some millionaires ain't wicked? How did they get $1 million and ain't giving back to the people? And just giving crumbs back to the people? How much do it take you to live? How big should your house have to be? And for what reason? No, we got to erase these capitalist ideas. We know that ain't important. Like I said the other day, Dr. King ain't about nothing to us then. Oh, Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman ain't nothing to us then. No, we can't think that way. We got to stop thinking in those kinds of manner. You know, look and see what we can do for ourselves as a people, that we are independent. That's why we need a political party. We need a political party. So if you got an organization, make sure it be a political organization. And make sure your political organization have a ideology. Something that guide, lead, maintain, direct one towards one found victory or objective. Because if your organization is not doing that, then it's not fighting for the liberation of African people. I'm just sorry, but it's not fighting for the liberation of African people. If your organization is not for the liberation of African people, to relieve the suffering of African people, then y'all need to start reading more about our history as a people and get on the right track. Or join some other organization that you feel is more suitable for you. Or to start some other organization you think need to be started. Like I'm planning to do. And I hope some people that I've been communicating with, maybe about 15, 18 people that I've been communicating with off and on, will come and join this organization. And we're going to continue to organize till we organize all our people in Fort Valley. And we're going to make decisions for ourselves. And we're going to have some businesses. We're going to open up some businesses. We're going to give our people, some of our people, jobs to go to work. But like I said, on the 17th of August, I'm going to introduce the organization of the Marcus Garvey Committee here in Fort Valley. And we're going to need everybody in Fort Valley to help and come to join this organization, be a part. It's not my organization, people's organization. I don't make decisions, we going to make decisions. But we going to form us an organization to move forward while we can open up some businesses. We need some businesses. We ain't turning over our money, sending the rat back out every day, every second. We got to stop at a store. Somebody else hauling our money out our neighborhood, and we don't even know where they stay. Ain't supporting none of our organizations. No, we can't continue to deal like that. No, I can't. I'm a revolutionary. I believe in change. Revolution means change. There are two kinds of changes: evolutionary change, slow and gradual change, and revolutionary change, quick change. You know, we're going to start from this evolutionary punt, and we're going to struggle real hard, become organized real fast, and start moving. We want to listen to everybody's viewpoints and what they're talking about. But we want everybody's viewpoint to be making some kind of a positive change and moving our peoples to Pan-Africanism. We must move towards Pan-Africanism. That's the only thing. And those of y'all don't know about Pan-Africanism, you know, you need to try to find some literature, start studying about Pan-Africanism. See, is it for you? If not, then what is for you? Nephew, I know you asked me, which one should the people vote for? One of the individuals said, you know, maybe we need to put Biden in there and take these 4 years to struggle real hard to finish our process of organization and moving towards Pan-Africanism. Or we can take the other 4 years with Trump and just in the street doing all kinds of stuff, but ain't moving us towards Pan-Africanism because everybody is listening to what Trump's saying and confused by what Trump's saying and all that kind of stuff. You know, he ain't nothing but a big airbag, just talking. But one thing that we need is our own political party. We need our own political party. And then we can only have a political party when we are what? Political educated. Then we'll know that is the only way that we as a people gonna get out of slavery and free and liberate ourselves as a people throughout the world. And Africa, what? Must be free. Thank y'all. See y'all back later again. I want to talk about how Europe undeveloped Africa and see all the harm that Europeans have caused upon Africa and African people throughout the world, to show you that all these European people is the same people. And like I said before, y'all need to stop calling them white people. You know damn well they ain't no color. Excuse my profanity again. You know they ain't no color. You know they're Europeans. You know they came from Europe. Why you hate to call them what they are? Just like you hate to call yourself what you are. The only way you could be ashamed of Africa because you don't know nothing about Africa. I put something on yesterday by Brother Kwame Ture, and I hope everyone got a chance to listen to it. Like I said, if I put something on there, or forward something somebody else put on it, it's positive. Somebody doing the same thing, looking at the same thing, trying to accomplish the same thing. We might be in different cities, might be in different states, might be in different parts of the world, but you can see that we are pushing the same thing. And we bind to unite ourselves, but only through what? Political education. So continue to move forward. Make sure that your organization is struggling politically, not just a social organization, but a political organization. Because we must become more political as a people. And then we won't have to ask the old question, which one we should vote for out of the two evils. You know, ain't there one of them for us, and y'all know it. So we need our own political party anyway, and we need to start building it. So if you got an organization, like I say, and I say, and I say, and I say it again, make sure that your organization start being political. Start discussing capitalism. Start discussing racism. Start discussing imperialism. Start discussing Zionism. Start discussing racism. Start discussing these things. Then we'll get a better understanding of what we're up against, what we're fighting against, who all is fighting for the same thing, who all are going in different directions, holding the masses of African people back because they don't want to be politically correct. If you don't want to be politically correct, then you must want to be a liar. Ain't nothing else left. Like I said the other day, we need to stop lying to ourselves. We need to stop lying to other people. We need to stop calling other people out of their names and making mockery out of them. Don't even make any sense. And then when somebody asked the question today, should they teach the Trail of Tears in the schoolhouse? Everybody on there said yes. I said yes, but they'll never do that. They can't afford to do that. They still give it to you in cowboy and Indian pictures, but they could never tell you and teach you how they did the indigenous peoples of the Western Hemisphere. You'll be ready to cut their throat overnight. You'll be like Africans up in Algeria during the Algerian Revolution with the French. Say at night the Africans go up in daytime the Africans go up in the hills, in the mountains. At night they come out cutting European throat. Something to galling them Europeans out of there running. You understand? So if we can't get it through the vote, Malcolm said we'll be the bullet, and we must start to organize our people. Somebody sent me a link yesterday, and they had this woman and her children dying face down, accusing them of stole a car. 4 European officers out there, 3 men and a European woman out there harassing these people. I know some of y'all probably saw it also, you know, I think I even shared the link. And see how we be treated. We can't continue to be treated like this. No, we must get ready to arm ourselves. It ain't no time to be playing. As we go, like we going up against a non-violent foe. Africans in this country ain't never went up against a non-violent foe. If somebody can show me in history where Africans went up against a non-violent foe against Europeans. Europeans ain't never been non-violent towards African people. When? Tell me. That's what I want to know. When you tell me that, then I might listen to something you have to say. But we have always fight for our achievements. Don't care where we was as a people after we were scattered through everywhere a child of slavery. Wherever the slave ship Jesus dropped off all that. No, so show me one thing where European was non-violent against African people. What they expect of life was that. Not even on the shores of putting us on the ship, they weren't non-violent towards us. And then we think somehow or another Europeans gonna be on the side of African people. Only way Europeans gonna be on the side of African people if it gonna benefit them more than it benefit us. And through political education, it would teach you that. It would teach you who your friends, who your enemies are. That's why we need to be politically educated. And that's why political education is so important to us as a people, as an African people. Well, we'll start running over everywhere. You know, like what Garvey said, a people without their courage is like a limb floating down the string, will hit and cling to anything. Thought paths running all over everywhere. Your thought paths running all over everywhere. Why? Because you don't have no ideology. You don't have nothing to guide, lead, maintain, to direct one towards one final victory or objective. You can only do that through when you have an ideology that is teaching you political education, where we can't continue to be confused going down the wrong road, believing this person, that person. When you political education, you know the direction in which we are going as a people, and we will unite and move forward. And all Pan-Africanists must be saying the same thing throughout the world, organizing ourselves and freeing ourselves and liberating ourselves as a people must be the most important thing to us as a world. Not gonna who gonna be the next U.S. president, the next British president, the next French president, the next Portugal president, none of Germany next president. No, we got to be concerned about Africa, building Africa, to create our government. Well, they have to deal with us as a people, and they'll have to deal with us, and nobody want to deal with us because they know we be so powerful. With all the mineral resources, natural resources, and human resources that we have, we'll be powerful. We can say Africa could feed the world 3 times over, much less ourselves. And we know we had medication in Africa way back in BC. We had our first open heart surgery in 15 BC. So we know we had medicine way before then. Now we don't have a hospital. We only have a clinic that we run ourselves, that's ours. And we own, we operate, we support. Now we must come together. We need our aspect of our people's life involved in revolutionary warfare. I don't care if you're a nurse, doctor, engineer, banker, whatever you might be. We need our people involved in our struggle. We need our people involved in our struggle so bad. So I'm asking my people, I'm begging my people, especially the ones here in Fort Valley, and I've been in Fort Valley, who know me as an individual, know that I always have loved my people. I have always struggled and did something for my people throughout my life. And one day I'm going to tell you why I started that in my life in the 60s. It ain't nothing I just jumped on, believe me. Been at this a long, long, long time. And it's not over. And we must be the same way. I can remember when Kwame Ture, me and him would be riding, taking them to a speaking engagement. I can remember one time, one year, although it was many years, we were going to Savannah, Georgia. And he was telling me about the time when he went to Vietnam. Even the struggle he had in trying to get to Vietnam. But he said once he was in Vietnam, you know, the little children, the little Vietnamese children, were pulling on their comrades' pants, you know, all the way down to about their knees, little Vietnamese warriors, pulling on their comrade pants. Comrade. Save me some of them Yankees. And they had fought for 15 years against the French in the U.S. Fought for 15 years and throw them out. You think about 15 generations of people understanding the need to liberate their land through political education. And they were politically educated. And they whooped the U.S. and killed a lot of our brothers over there fighting for this imperialist government that gained nothing from it whatsoever. Nothing. Came back here and caught more hell. Said they got their ass whooped over there, they ain't give them no honor. You know, got them hooked all up on drugs, all kinds of drugs, opium, marijuana, and everything else. And then sent them back, put them on the street. No kind of rehabilitation whatsoever. Didn't care nothing, just kicked them out. And you think the U.S. military our friend? How in the hell could they be our friend? And much we done fought for them way away in the world ain't gained nothing from it. Nah, we need political education. Where we gonna know who our friends are, where we gonna know who our enemies are. Where we gonna know what we fighting for, where we gonna know what we fighting against. And the only way we gonna know that is through political education. So those who can start some study groups and dealing with African culture and history, become more politically educated and understanding our plight as a people and where we should be going, what we should be doing, what we should be developing, how we going to move on forward toward the African Revolution. That should be the most important and the only important thing on our mind today. You know, I remember I wanted to do a program here in Fort Valley some time back, over a year ago. And this program, in specifically, I wanted to invite all the African women, males in the state of Georgia to come to Fort Valley to speak. That's what I wanted. I wanted the African female, male, to come to Fort Valley to speak, where they can meet each other who don't know each other. Maybe they do. Trying to see what kind of direction they were going in, what they talking about. We want to know what they're talking about, how they going to help the people in that position. A revolutionary don't do nothing without a way to move their people forward. A revolutionary don't do nothing without trying to organize their people. A revolutionary don't do nothing but try to show the masses of our people why political education is important to the movement of the masses towards Pan-Africanism. The total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism must be the most important thing. And the ones don't think it's the most important thing, I mean, I don't mind having a discussion with anybody about it. You want to discuss it, we can discuss it. Matter of fact, maybe after this corona dies down or whatever, maybe we can have a forum. I don't know, you might not even want me on the forum, because you know what I'm going to be talking about. I ain't going to be talking about let's turn the other cheek. I'm going to be talking about let's get the revolution on. Let's get organized. Let's organize our communities. Let's start satisfying all our aspirations in the community. I got plans set up for us to start organizing our peoples and seeing about our peoples in the community. And I think it's very important. And it always can be added on. All the stuff that I have wrote, some of the stuff I'm printed up, and anything that need to be changed or anything, we can do that. It's not going to be my organization, I promise you. It's going to be our organization. We're going to make decisions for this city. We 85, 90% Africans here, and we're going to run it. We're going to rule it. And I'm going to try all I can do. But we can unite ourselves here in the valley. Build the valley. Organize the valley. Become more politicated in the valley. So I want to thank y'all over the last few days of dealing with these subjects of theory of knowledge, dealing with historical materialism, dealing with dialectic and historical materialism, and dealing with why is political education so important to the African masses to move forward toward our objective of Pan-Africanism, this whole liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism. Thank you, Africans. Forward with the African Revolution. Nephew, I hope you got some of the questions that you asked me that I could elaborate on. If I didn't give you a good answer, then you have to reach further, okay? But thank you for the question, and I love you, and continue to struggle, and Make sure your organization is a political organization, not a social organization. A political organization covers everything. Your social life, your economic life, your political life, it covers everything. So, forward to the Pan-Africanist Revolution, Africans. Love you, Brother Yao Yambu.